Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the last class, we have completed the 16th chapter and we heard the summary also as the foundation discussion to this 17th chapter. Therefore, today we have to enter into the 17th chapter, which is titled as the Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yogam. Before entering into the chapter, little more introduction. This Shraddha and the 16th chapter topic Daivasura Sampat Vibhaga Yogam and this Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yogam, even though these topics were not directly dealing with the Brahmopadesham or Tattvopadesham, but they are very much important as a sadhanas for a person who wants to achieve the sadhyam, the Brahma Gnanam. Therefore, after spoken 15 chapters, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, why he brought out these two topics at the end again? This is the very crucial question, and these two chapters are also very, very important in this juncture. The reason is Bhagavan knows that this is the general human tendency in the world. Even after they hear the Shastra, after Shravanam also, it is very difficult for them to comprehend the real essence of this Vedanta. This Bhagavad Gita is nothing but the essence of the Vedanta, the Upanishads. Why people are not able to understand even after listening? Because the preparation, qualification is not enough or proper. Therefore, it is needed for the teacher to remind again and again the qualifications. Therefore, it is a litmus test for us, I told you in the last class. Therefore, these two chapters and the two topics. Now, what happened exactly and what the Lord spoken in the last 15 chapters? Very brief, one word, one sentence, bird eye view we will see. Then we will understand now what is the importance of these chapters. The first chapter starts with the identity crisis. In this world, every one of us are born with the identity crisis. We don't know who we are really, who am I really, my essential nature. We don't know. We are ignorant of it. Because of that identity crisis, we face innumerable problems and suffering. But there is a happiness also, and we'll crave and run behind the happiness, in search of happiness. So, in search of happiness, running behind also is a kind of suffering only. After you gain the happiness, trying to retain that happiness is also a struggle again. and one suppose that happiness goes also again the misery. So ultimately the human problems, the struggle, the strain, why all these things here? Is it really necessary for us to undergo? Shastra says, yeah, it is not necessary. You are not knowing your real essential nature. You are wrongly identified yourself and which is not real, and you are depending and holding on to it. Therefore, you have to work out to understand your real nature and come out of it. There is a way. Shastra is there saying that may I help you, I have a medicine solution for it. Therefore, this is the identity crisis. By keeping the typical example of the Arjuna in front of us, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the Jagat Guru, started teaching. After Arjuna spoken a lot, Bhagavan Krishna in the second chapter given the remedy. He explained about the essential nature of an individual. And then after that, now if you want to recognize that your essential nature, to get your self knowledge, you need a lot of preparation. I have told about the reality, but again there is a still the problem continues. What I am not able to grasp or understand. Then Bhagavan starts teaching the preparatory steps, that is karma yoga in the third chapter. Third, fourth, and fifth, all the three are dealing with the karma yoga only as the preparatory step to purify the mind. Chitta Shuddhyardham Karma Yoga. Fourth chapter titles are given differently for our convenience sake. Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Gnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and fourth chapter, and fifth chapter is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And after saying that, in sixth chapter, Bhagavan brought out the yoga practice or a discipline. Now, in order to qualify yourself for the Tattva Gnana, you need a single pointed mind also. For that sake, he introduced the Raja Yoga, the physical and the pranic and the mental preparations. Now, with all that, if you are equipped, now come back to the teaching. Then, 7th chapter onwards, Bhagavan spoken up to the 12th chapter. Now, you know the reality, the Bhagavan, Ishvara. So, Tat Pada Vichara has spoken there. The Ishvara Swarupa and the devotion, all those things. Of course, in between, there also some kind of sattvic divine qualities also spoken. But mainly, it is to say about the one reality, the Paramatma Tattva, and which is you also is the same essence of Paramatma only. Therefore, in the 13th, 14th and 15th chapters, Bhagavan brought out the Aikya Gnanam, or the oneness of the Jivatma and Paramatma. Now, after spoken a lot and the teaching is completed, but still, if necessary, you check back again, look back, what is your status of mind? Why you are not able to still comprehend the reality? Why you are not able to establish in the reality? and why you are not able to feel content and total freedom while living the Jivan Mukta Sthiti. So for that reason, so this is the gist and summary of the entire teaching. Then now in the 17th chapter, the main word is used as the Shraddha. In the last class summary also, we are talking about that only, because that given a preparation for us to understand. Now, I would like to say again here about the meaning of the Shraddha word. Some of the Sanskrit words we cannot give the exact meaning by saying one English word or any other language one or two words. Like dharma, we cannot simply say righteousness and leave it, but there is a lot. Some you cannot give a exact, the in-depth essence and the purport of that word. But still, I would like to share few words in English, what it means, the Shraddha. Shraddha means belief, faith, attitude, interest, commitment, involvement, responsibility, conviction, respect, value, firmness, perseverance, and motivation and temperament. So totally 14 words I have given. You just ponder on them. All these aspects together constitute the Shraddha word. You understand now? Therefore, by knowing this word in a very broad sense, you have to see. Now here, let us enter into the first shloka of this chapter. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ सप्तदशोऽध्यायः. अर्जुन उवाच ये शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्त्वमाहो रजस्तमः. This question is based on the 16th chapter conclusion. There Bhagavan Sri Krishna in 2 shlokas emphasized about the importance of the Shastra Vidhi. So after listening that, now Arjuna got a question. So based on that he is asking, Hey Krishna, Arjuna Uvacha, Hey Krishna, you told about the Shastra, and if anybody, people who are not giving respect and following the Shastra, not knowing what is Kartavyam and what is Akartavyam, you told that Swatasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavastito Sugnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartu Miharhasi. So by knowing the teaching of the Shastra, one should conduct his own life and do his own Varna, Ashrama, Dharmas and duty. Suppose now, who doesn't know? The question is here, the word looks like Utsrujya, who has given up the Shastra. But here, not really given up, he doesn't know what Shastra says. This is what Shankara mentions. You have to take the meaning. Not he knows and gives up, but who doesn't know. Shastra Vidhim, they doesn't know. So, a Shastra Vidhim Utsrujya, but they were doing their own way of worship. They are religious people. They have Shraddha also. They are endowed with a lot of faith and Shraddha, belief. They do the Yajanam. Yajanam means here not Yagnam Yagam, any kind of worship. So they have belief in the Lord and some kind of religious practices and the worship of the gods, different ways they do. They do it with Shraddha. They have Shraddha in it, Yajante. But they don't know what is Shastra says. They don't know about anything. That means they just heard from the Vruddha Vyavahara. That means they saw in their families or in their village or society what the people before they were doing, they will just follow them. They just follow them. That is called Vruddha Vyavahara. So they don't know really what Shastra said. They depend on these people and they follow that. They build up their faith like that. And now I have a doubt that I want to ask a question. If they are doing like that, their nishtha, their commitment, their involvement, what kind of that commitment or the involvement in doing that kind of religious worships and all that, whether it is a sattvic type or whether it is a rajoguna type or it is based on the tamoguna. So, three gunas Arjuna heard in the 14th chapter. So, gunas. In what category we can bring them? Who are they? Who doesn't know the Shastra? Now here, let us think generally in this way. Even though Arjuna asked Usrujya means they know, they have with them, but they just neglected like that. Okay, let it be like that. But I given the answer, it is they don't know. Now, generally in the world, people, if you see, two categories we can divide. One is who knows but disrespect the Shastra. Or even ignorant people, they don't know, they disrespect and ignore the Shastra. After knowing, giving up is a disrespect. And to know also, they have no respect. So, knowing people doesn't have respect, so they will give up. The don't know people also, who don't know also, they have no respect on it, so they won't take it. So, disrespect people and ignorant people, we can say like that. Or we can put them all these two categories into the three varieties. What is that? One, there is no faith or belief, therefore they don't know Shastra. Second category, there is faith and belief, but there is no Shastra. Now this Arjuna's question belongs to this second category. Now what is the third category? Shraddha also is there and they know the Shastra also. They are the best people, or Krishna considers them as they are the sattvic people. They were the Daiva Sampat Vibhaga. They come under the Daivi Sampat category. So this is the question. And while asking this question, very clearly, three categories are there like that, or gunas are like that, then which category and under which guna they come? Sattvam, aho, or rajasaha, or tamaha? Please tell me, I want to know. Like that, Arjuna asking the question. And therefore, after that, Bhagavan Sri Krishna now starts answering to the Arjuna's question. Very good question, Arjuna. Shri Bhagavanu Vacham Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja Satvike Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi cheti tam shrinu. Correct, Arjuna. As you asked that under the influence of the three gunas, which is dominate in them, they have such kind of shraddha. So, to say, I want to rearrange your question. Shraddha bhavati trividha. Shraddha is a feminine word, therefore Trividha bhavati Shraddha. Yes, it becomes three types. It is there three times. To whom these people, human beings, Dehina, where from that Shraddha has come? The Shraddha came because of listening, or Shraddha came because of seeing somebody, or that Shraddha came by teaching by the parents or listening to the Shastra. No, no, no. It is not come like that. Basically, by birth, they have got inbuilt Shraddha, which is there, which is born out of their Swabhavaja. Swabhava means their inner inbuilt software character. Swabhava, their nature. So this Shraddha born in them because of their inbuilt nature. What is that inbuilt nature? What it mean? There Shankara writes, Janmantara krutaha dharmadi samskaraha. In the past lives, whatever they have done, dharma, adharma, whatever kind of actions they have done, that actions results, that samskaras are hidden in them in the form of the vasanas. How? Maranakale abhivyaktaha. Particularly when they are before leaving the body in the last life, whatever the dominant thoughts and their nature they are holding that time, and that is the abhivyaktaha, now that is brought forward, like started expressing here. That is called swabhavaha uchyate. Or we generally say that like in the form of prarabdha rupam, and becomes the cause for what kind of body here, what kind of janma here, what kind of situations, environment here, and what kind of then again the behavior. So this is the cause, though Shraddha, by birth itself, people are having Shraddha. Now let us see 2-3 examples to understand this point. What is it? Every one of us are having Shraddha means I told interest, involvement on different things. A drunkard is having a commitment for his drinking. He is interested. Shraddha. And Like this, the people who are very interested about their body decoration and makeup and all that, they go to beauty clinic and do a lot of things because they have got a shraddha about their body appearance. According to their shraddha, people wear a different liking colors. According to their shraddha, they will do the cooking and all that. They will keep the house either clean or dirty. Everything is shraddha only. The whole life is based on the shraddha. That point Bhagavan is going to tell in the third shloka. Therefore, Shraddha, we cannot say that he don't have Shraddha. But Shraddha in what? That differs. Therefore, everybody, people having a very Shraddha in sitting in front of the TV and watching. Now people are having the lot of Shraddha on the cell phone. Very often they will keep on do it. They will keep themselves update about the worldly things. So everything is Shraddha. And so therefore the every character, every person, whatever they do and whatever they don't do also because of their inner interest or Shraddha. If the child doesn't study properly and get the less marks, what mother parents will scold him? See, as your interest, as so the marks. So the marks. Therefore, Shraddha is there everywhere. But when it comes to the spiritual upliftment, the inner purification, the inner growth, it have a different color and continuation. For this, there is one beautiful sloka like statement. What? How this kind of now, if it is born by birth it has come. Now what can I do? I cannot change it. That's why many times, first of all, we have to think that let us not try to change the people as we wish. As we wish. But no, sir, I am wishing a good thing only. Then I like my child, daughter or son to follow it. What is wrong in it? Okay, you feel if it is good, that goodness which you are feeling is according to Shastra. Okay, otherwise you believe that it is good. But still remember, you can tell and show the way for goodness, but don't expect that they will take it and change. Don't think and expect that they will change, they should change, because they have got their inner own swabhava shraddha, swabhavika shraddha. If we keep on emphasis and insist on it, what will happen? We will be the sufferers. We will become restless. We will become tension. Therefore, you can do the best, but leave the rest. In that way, you can think of about this point. But still, one more question. Then if the person is by birth is like that, there is no any choice at all for him to change. Yes, there is a choice, but he must choose that choice. That's why choice is ours. What is that choice? Every human being, we have a willpower. Willpower. So I am the architect of my own life. Man can make his life and man can mar his life. So If at all he have some inclination and somehow some of these good words has gone into his ears, and then slowly the possibility is there. Therefore, first of all, blindly somehow you surrender and accept and listen to the Shastra. Because otherwise, how I will know that whatever I am liking is good or bad, whether it is Shreyas or Preyas, whether it is uh, good or evil, whether it is only my whims and fancies Priyam or Hitam, how I will know? Somebody should guide me. Who is that somebody? Not any normal human beings, even our parents or friends, and people will come and go, generations will come and go, traditions and for practices of religious things also will keep on change. But what is the main source or the base for the is the guide for a person to follow? How he can make his life a happy and successful life? That is the main purpose. So for that, you one day or other, if it happens quickly in the life, you are the luckiest person. If you get the chance to hear to the Shastra. Therefore, Shastrokta means don't think only the presently what you see around you in the name of the either traditions or practices and religious things. They were not exactly everything is told by Shastra. Because of time scale, in the flow of the time, these many things were imagined and created by the human mind. Therefore, human mind also will create some kind of laws, human laws. As like in our court, we have laws. Who created those laws? Human beings. But human beings, once upon a time, before previously, they were created based on the Manudharma Shastra or Viduraniti Shastra. Like that, Smriti Grandhas, they used to take support and guide. But later on, the human laws are prescribed. But there is a chance always, if you are following only the human laws, only human created laws are enough, that manuals are enough if you think. But many times in the life, the many people, even the person who created those laws, there is a possibility of violating the laws. If you violate the laws, it is a loss for you. For example, we human beings only created the traffic rules and the road regulations. But how many are violating every day? Every day, many are violating our own human being created laws. So then it creating a problem. It is creating a critical situation to him or to others. So take any field, not only example like this road traffic rules, many laws. Therefore, depending on the only human created laws is not enough. Time tested wisdom is there in our country, luckily. That is the Veda Shastra. That is what Lord says, that Tasmat pramanam shastram pramanam te. That cannot be changed, that cannot be violated. A local human created laws, the way of worship, doing this and doing that, so many changes. Now if you see in one uh, state to other state, one language to other language people, how many different way of worship and way of dressing, way of eating, way of cooking, lots of changes. So we cannot blame them whether they are right or wrong. If altogether our local, regional practices, if they were helping totally away for every society, to the total society and for the individual, helping means what? In what way? They must go spiritually. They must behave and conduct themselves as they very decent human beings. But we are not seeing that around the world anywhere. So very rarely, very few in a corner, some are in some place. But somehow our country is mainly build up this culture and Sanatana, based on the Sanatana Dharma. We are much better in this country in all aspects. In all aspects. I told some time back before, if you take the statistics of any unwanted things in the society, unwanted, unhealthy situations, things and habits or anything, if you see the statistics of that, our country is much better than the Western countries. For example, if you take the statistics of drunkards, more in the other part of the world, okay, and drug addicts also more, debauchers more, and divorces more, and suicides are more. In any angle, anything in the society, if you calculate all these things, and these are all very higher in the percentage in the other Western, the so-called civilized developed countries. Because the reason is our country is from time immemorial, that's why I told time tested wisdom, Rishi Parampara, Sanatana Dharma. It is not something when we say Rishi Parampara, Sanatana Dharma, holding on to the some kind of dogma. They are holding and talking something. Here in our country also there are different people and practices which are holding to some dogma. Some dogma is a thing which is told later, very late in late centuries here and there by someone. That cannot, if that someone said something, if that is suits to the teaching of the Shastra, Veda, then it can be accepted, not otherwise. If we are seeing this, why Smriti Granthas are also respected here? Because Smriti Granthas are based on the Shruti only, but little a modified way. Most of the Smriti Granthas teaches about the how to lead a life in this world. They won't talk much about the Atma Gnana, Brahma Gnana, spiritual knowledge and like Upanishads. They all talk about the human beings, this environment, nature, the animal kingdom, plant kingdom and human kingdom, how we can all live together, what is the harmony and relationship between them, and in again the relationships in the human beings, how they should be, All this, and how a ruler should be, how a that means the four varnas people are the four pillars to the society, how the Brahmana should behave, what is his duty, responsibility, like that Vaishya, Shudra, Kshatriya, because ruling community, teaching community, business community, and helping community, all are required now. These four categories of people should be guided and led properly. All are having equal uh, responsibility and equal status in the society. But to understand this, our vision should be broader. Who can give this broader vision? That is the Vedic vision. Now you got the point. So these are all just I'm giving a strong introduction like foundation like to this. When why I started this topic now few minutes, this Shraddha. When it comes into the spiritual continuation, tapasa Shraddha, Shraddhaya Medha, Medhaya Manisha, Manishaya Manaha, Manasa Shantihi, Shantena Atma Vedayati or Vindayati. See this. So the Shraddha should be cultivated also, can be cultivated also. That's why from the birth onwards, or even for pre-birth onwards, the samskaras are prescribed here to make a person a cultured person. Because by birth we are not cultured, we are uncultured. Therefore, samskaras. When all those samskaras are done with a proper knowledge and interest and knowing, then that person will become samskaravan, a cultured one. The cultured one is called Arya. Arya. So here we have such a cultured Aryan society here. It is not that as political people talking about the Arya word. Arya means a well refined, cultured personality, and that increase the our shraddha towards the goal of our life. Now that goal also who will decide? Who says? Shastra says. Shastra tells four purusharthas are there. You have four stations and four trans. You have to change your way to the other station. That is brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa. That other words for purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Unless if the destination and the goal of the human life is not known, not decided, then all the problems will continue. Please remember this. Remember this. Then we'll become selfish, we'll become arrogant, we'll become cruel, we'll become violent, we'll become adharmic. Everything will happen. Why only human beings are the threat to this entire globe? Not any other animal. Not the climate is not the threat. We changed the climate. We trespassed the rules of the nature and we violated the nature. Therefore, otherwise, the entire universe, the cosmic function is very well balancedly going on. Now, in such a balanced cosmic intelligence and the function, if a intelligent human being who is having a special intelligence, If he is not aware of it, and if he is not careful about it, then you see what a calamity. That calamity is only now we are facing by this human intellect. Therefore, Shraddhaya Medha, and this Medha, the intelligence, the IQ, the Tikshana Buddhi, Medha, all through this, you must become a real refined human being. Manisha, then only you will be called as the Manishi, Manisha, who is having a refined mind through tapas and shraddha, medha, and that medha, medhaya, Manisha, he becomes a real human being. Not you are in the human body, but you are behaving like a lesser than animal, or like a demon or devil. And Manishaya Manaha, then only we can say he is having a proper mind. Manaha. Otherwise, everybody is having mind. But how much that mind is creating a havoc? My mind, my own mind becomes a liability for me rather than asset. How come? Not only that, my mind, my thinking, my actions all create a havoc and disturb others. How? Why it happens? Because my mind is not proper. That's why we say, watch your thoughts, they will reflect as the words. Watch your words, they only will reflect as your actions. Watch your actions, they will reflect as your character. Watch your character, it will reflect as your destiny. Yes, therefore, and such a manas, my thoughts, my actions, my words should keep me also peaceful, and around, in and around me also, everybody must feel shanti, such a peaceful, quiet, relaxed, tranquil person only, with that state of mind only, Atma Vedayati, then only you can focus and look into the deeper levels of his personality and discover, find out the truth, the one truth, the oneness of my individuality belongs to the totality. So I need not to feel I am very small, but I feel so egoistic. If at all I feel, I must feel a grand vision of I'm in total. See the total, broad vision. Then you are, then you will discover the support behind this individuality and totality. Both are supported by what? That is Atma or consciousness. Then only we discover. So this is the reason why Bhagavan Krishna now taken up these topics of Shraddha, Trayavibhaga Yogam and all this. Now, what Bhagavan is saying here in the second shloka, we saw already. Therefore, what you are saying is correct, Arjuna. And they were Satviki Shraddha, Rajasi Shraddha, and Tamasi Shraddha. And then, so I have to explain them from these three angles to you. I am interested to describe you much more elaboratedly also. Are you ready to listen? Then Bhagavan says in the third shloka, Sat Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata Shraddha mayoyam purushaha Yo yaschraddhasa eva saha. Very important statement. Bhagavan just giving again a grand understanding, outlook. What? Yes. This Shraddha, which is very person to person according to their guna, three types. That is Sattvanurupa for everybody. Hey Bharata. Bharata means, I told you the meaning before. Bha means Brahma Vidya. Bha means Gnanam. Bha means Bharati, Saraswati, the embodiment of the knowledge. Bha. Rataha, who is interested in listening to this discourse. I am taking a different meaning. Who born in the Bharat Desha, we are all Bharatiyas. We are all belong to the Bharata Vamsha. Is the story of the Bharata Rishi or Bharata. All that's why later on these were countries called as the Bharata Varsha, Bharata Kanda. That is all okay, but here if you see, take the still deeper meaning of that root word bha, so which is endowed with shining with the gnanam, rataha, and I am interested in it. I am eager to listen. So Arjuna is interestingly listening. First he told that let us go run away from the war field, but after the Bhagavan started speaking, he understanding the things and he's asking the questions, clarifying his doubts, and slowly clarity has coming up in him. Therefore, he is showing interest. Oh, hey Bharata, okay, Bharata Vamsha, you belong to Bharata Vamsha, and you are having the Sattvic Gunas, Daiva Sampatti, and you are that's why become eligible to listen to this my discourse, and you are interestingly listening. Hey Bharata, Shraddha for everyone, Bhavati, it becomes, faith is Sattvanurupa. Sattvanurupa means here this word Sattva in this context is not as usual we take, according to his temperament. That's why I given one meaning to the Shraddha there, temperament. Sattvanurupa is called Swabhavam. Shankara writes for this, Visishta samskaropeta samskaropetanaha samskaropeta antakarana rupa sarvasya pranijatasya. Visishta samskaropeta antakarana. In their own inner instrument, they come with some kind of swabhava shraddha. That is called Sattvanurupa for everybody. Generally we say no. Then Bhagavan says, that Shraddhamayaha, Yaha Shraddhamayaha Purushaha, that Shraddhamayaha Purushaha, Saha Shraddhaha Yaha Sayeva. Whatever is Shraddha, that is he. Okay. Very important. Shankara quotes many times this one. Yo Shraddha Sayeva Saha. Whatever kind of Shraddha you have, you are that kind of person. That's it. That's why I told simple routine examples. The way you keep your hair, the way you dress up, the way it shows that you are Shraddha. The way you involve in the world, in what much you are involved, that is your Shraddha. Therefore, to say this in other few other sentence. Whatever you sow, that you reap. Yes. Whatever Shraddha is there, that you are. So if you plant a seed of the neem tree only will come. If you put a mango seed, mango tree will come. Not otherwise, other way. Or we call this as the yad bhavam tat bhavati. Whatever you think, that you become. That think means Shraddha. Or yamatihi sagatihi. Whatever your mind, that is your destiny. In this way, Bhagavan saying that about this Shraddha. Then fourth shloka. Now let me enumerate them one by one. First, I will let us read the fourth shloka. Yajante satvika devan yaksharakshamsi rajasaha pretan bhutaganamsche chanye yajante tamasa janaham. Here first Bhagavan taking, because Arjuna asked about the worship only in question. Therefore, Bhagavan also first telling about that. Yajante word, Arjuna asked, no, ye shastra vidim utsrujya yajante, who worships. That means religious faith. Faith on different supernatural powers or gods, all that. But here it differs. People, Satvika people, yajante devan. Which are the gods are mentioned in the main powers or the resources of different faculties. They were Vedic gods, Vedic Devataha. So first Bhagavan telling Deva Prakaranam, Devas. So because worship, okay, Satvikan Devan Ejante, Satvik people. Who are the Satvik people? Which are told in the 16th chapter, the Daivi Sampat Guna people. And others, Rajasa Guna people, they worship the Yaksha Rakshamsi. They worship the demi-semi gods, Yaksha, Kinnara, Kimpurusha, Apsarasa, Vidyadhara, Gandharva, or still lower some kind of Rakshasaha. That means the Yakshas and the Rakshasas. Oh, people will worship Rakshasas also? Yes, people will worship. Okay, Rakshasa, kind powers. Now here, Devan, we know that what Vedic gods are Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra or Devi, Ganapati. They were all mentioned in the Vedic rituals. But many other gods were not mentioned for worship there. Okay, but these people, without knowing no Rajasika tendency people, they will worship. For example, who is Yaksha Devata? Kubera is comes under the Yaksha. He is a leader of the Yakshas and he is the considered as the custodian of the wealth, Kubera. Even though Mahalakshmi Devi is the goddess of the wealth, but that is guarded by the Kubera. What is the relation and story that we need not to, but we are very much interested about keeping the Kubera yantra and doing some kind of this all that because we want money. That means whoever worship this kind of people, they were all called Rajasic people. Their Shraddha is Rajasic Shraddha. Then other category, these Tamasika Shraddha people, they will still go to the lower level, Preta, Bhuta, Pishacha, all Shudra Devatas they will worship. Because Shudra Devatas are also some kind of powers only. So they invoke them and to destroy others, okay, to defame others, to make others poorer, or to conquer some kingdoms. All this kind of the black magics or such kind of some agora practices, and these are all not advisable, but people are there, lots of people they do. So they were called Tamasa Janaha. This is the three types of their interest in the worship of gods. Now, if you see in this present scenario also, all these three types of people are there around us. The pathetic thing is, even our Ishtadevata is something Shiva or Vishnu, Narayana, but still people keep worship the other Shudra Devatas or the Yaksharakshamsi also, because they have no real faith or understanding, because they never studied Shastra. That is the problem, no? They never listen to the Shastra. They simply follow. Therefore, they keep such kind of yantras and the pictures in their home, but in which home traditionally Ishtadevata is Shiva or Narayana or Devi, but later on you see from the Shiva's origin, from that kind, all this kind of tantra, mantra, aghora, shastras, and these things are all came. Bhutagana, Pritata, Pechas are all, mostly they were all basically Shiva Bhaktas, but somehow they show more interest on all of them rather than Shiva. In the same way, Devi. So Devi is nothing but the total cosmic, the power, Shakti. But later on, in that, so many other, again, small devatas, Dakini, like that, Kinkini, Lankini, so many other goddesses are thought of, imagined, and worshipping. And what finally there is again like himsatmaka way of worship. There will be a killing, there will be a wine consuming, there will be a indulgence and meat eating and all these kinds. They consider and they say that these are all the part of this ritual. So this is the just Bhagavan giving this outlook. That's why okay, we'll conclude here. When we enter into the temple, in our all Hindu temple, on the outside from the compound wall, prakara, then all that, that the main tower, on that everywhere you will see different this kind of apsaras, bammas, dance bammas, and then pictures. Then some kind of Rakshasa, Yaksha, like that. Some different pictures are all depicted. And slowly, when you go inside also, again Nandi will be there, Bhairava will be there, this Garuda Vahana, that is there, this there, all are there. Then slowly you don't stop there itself. You don't ask them anything. You just see them and do namaskar and come inside straight away to the sanctum sanctorium. Don't get lost, attracted by any of these things. And to indicate that only, I think that is the temple structures are all made. Anyhow, let us continue further in the next class. So we have completed the up to 4th shloka. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ हरि ओम तत्सत्।